It is Island FM 25 to 1. Guest in today, we say hi to Josh Le Tissier, DJ, producer and remixer. Can we throw that in as well, Josh?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Throw
in anything you like. Born and bred here in sunny Guernsey, yet again a Le Tissier flying the flag for Guernsey. Do you ever get asked if you're related to Matt or Maya?
I actually got asked this morning by a fan. Really? Yeah.
Just this morning?
Yeah.
And you're not related?
No.
Okay, well, Josh, just back from a tour of Asia doing DJ gigs. More on that later. We've spoken before. It was on this show, 2019.
Yeah, a lot's happened since then. It's quite frightening when you look back.
2019, we did. I think it was on the phone. I think you were working, you were busy, you couldn't get to the studios. And we played then, it was one of your early mixes. It was a bootleg remix of Lewis Capaldi's Someone You Loved. It was the year it was a hit for Lewis.
Yep.
So a lot, you say, happened since then, almost 6 years ago. A lot of hard work. How did it all begin, firstly, Josh, for you being a DJ? How far does this go back?
I think it was, in the early days, it was when I was 17. I fitted my car out with some massive speakers and a subwoofer. And I was just looking for music that had as much bass as possible. And then I discovered EDM, or I think it was called Dirty Dutch back then. It was like a subgenre. And then I just kind of got obsessed with it, learnt to DJ. And then I wanted to make my own music. And then it all happened from there.
And Josh, you're very determined. So back then was it, I'm going to do this, whatever. I will work as hard as I can. I will make it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I say, I kind of got obsessed with it, and it's like every spare minute that I had was just working on music, whether it was DJing or actually learning how to produce music. So I guess it was because I was so obsessed with it, the hard work came easy in some ways.
And is there a moment that you thought things are happening, your big break, if you like? Is there a particular thing that happened or that you did, you thought, yeah, this is it, we're going places?
Well, I think when I spoke to you last time in 2019, that was when everything kind of started. When I started getting support from the radio stations in the US, started getting supported by some of the biggest DJs in the world. And then over the years, just getting more and more streams on Spotify, getting close to 100 million, actually, within the next few weeks, I think. And then releasing on some of my dream labels in the dance scene. So, yeah.
I mean, this is huge. This is big time, isn't it, Josh? I mean, I think the current total for your streaming figures, it's 90 million.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is places like Spotify, Apple Music, places like that?
Yep.
Is there a particular DJ, talking about how you started and everything, a DJ that inspired you, that you looked up to and thought, that's what I want to do?
I mean, there's been quite a few over the years, but the one that stands out the most, and he's not very well known in Guernsey, but it's a guy called Hardwell. He got voted the #1 DJ in the world twice, I think. And it's his record label that I've been doing a lot of releases on recently. So that was kind of a dream come true when that all started last year. And I've already got 3 lined up for this year. So, yeah, it's amazing.
So what are your heroes, the guy you looked up to? You're actually working for him, if you like.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
it's
he's
incredible.
The one that's actually signing my tracks right now.
Wow. Because back in my day when I was clubbing in Guernsey here, nothing like the level you're doing, but I used to do some clubs over here. Probably the Golden Monkey. Have you heard about that place?
I've heard about it, but it was before my time, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was Barbados after that. You might remember Barbados Beach Club. It was the same venue. It used to be called the Monkey. And, I mean, the big hitters back then, this is late 80s into the 90s, the big DJs, Judge Jules, Carl Cox, Danny Rampling, Sasha, DJs like that. Are those guys, are they still doing it? Are they still top of the game? Or is there a new crop in town, a new set of DJs that are headlining everything?
Yeah, they're still around. I've watched some of their sets. But yeah, I guess I don't think they're headliners anymore, so to speak. But I think they're still kind of an inspiration because as much as it was a couple of generations ago in some ways, they still achieved incredible things, and yeah, it's an inspiration.
And we mentioned those guys. Carl Cox, probably one of the biggest names that we mentioned there. I mean, he and those guys back in those days, they used to fly all over the world just to play a few hours they'd be booked for. They'd fly them there, they'd do a few hours on the decks, they'd fly them back home, commanding up to 140, 150 grand per night, well, per 3 hours.
Yeah, my fee's not that high just
I was going to say, I wasn't going to pry and say how much are you getting for these gigs, but, it's not quite that level yet.
No.
Okay. I mean, that's some going, isn't it, for 3 hours work?
Yeah.
But that, that's the level. We mentioned your streaming, 90 million streams across music platforms, and that number, it is climbing, isn't it? As you say, close to 100.
Yeah, I literally, because we had, recently in the past couple of weeks, one of my tracks has gone viral on TikTok, which has now ramped up the streams. Like I did over 60,000 streams yesterday, just on Spotify. So I think we're going to hit 100 million like very quickly. So
with everything else that's going on in your career so far, you've now gone viral on TikTok.
Yeah,
I love that.
It wasn't even me who made the video. Okay. It was another DJ who played it in one of his sets, uploaded the video, and then that got 5 million views in 2 weeks, and all of a sudden everybody wants to stream the track. We even entered the Shazam charts in Germany just for one day, but that's how much of an impact TikTok had for that.
See, this is global stuff. You say it's gone viral on TikTok. The world almost gets to hear your song through that, and that's how these things. It's like a snowball effect, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, you can see on like the Spotify for Artists like analytics that literally my music's being streamed in every country in the world, which is like mind-blowing, really. It's really cool.
That is big time. Okay, we're going to play a song and then we're going to chat some more because you've just got back. You're fully recovered from the jet lag. You're just back from Asia.
Yeah.
You've done a 3-week DJ gig tour. We'll chat about that and some other stuff in just a moment. It's Island FM and we're talking to DJ, producer and remixer Josh Le Tissier, born and bred here in sunny Guernsey. And we were talking about your music and everything that you produce as well as going out doing the DJ gigs. Not only original productions, you've delivered remixes for various artists as well, including the artist we've just played, Carly Rae Jepsen. Not that song, but it was a mix of one of her other songs.
Yeah, that's right. It was the her track OMG with Griffin. Okay,
well, I mean, that's a huge name, Carly Rae Jepsen. Some of your mixes as well have been played, I know, at main stages across the world. Tomorrowland is a big do, isn't it? It's a big deal, though.
Yeah, that's one of my highlights, I think.
Yeah, so how does that work? So you get a clip, I guess, or you go along to these. I'm not sure if you performed at Tomorrowland.
No, I haven't.
Of course you'd like to.
I'd love to. Actually, I have quite a few friends that are playing there now, so it's nice to be in like that kind of circle of people.
I bet it is, but your tracks have been played on the big stages there.
Yeah.
At Tomorrowland.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
You earn, and this is, it sounds so showbiz because it is, a coveted spot. This is at London's iconic Ministry of Sound Club, the main room there. I mean, you can't just turn up to that place where your record box and say, "Can I have a go?" It's invite only, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you get that to play? For a DJ to play at Ministry of Sound, that's a it's on the tick list, on the bucket list.
Yeah. I've I think since 2019 I've been going there a couple of times a year. I got the opportunity back in 2019. From another DJ friend who kind of hooked me up, I guess, on the graveyard slot, if you like right at the end of the night. And then one of the promoters spotted me there, really liked what I was doing, and just keeps inviting me back. And now I'm getting like much better slots, like just after the headliner, on the warm-up slot, that kind of thing, when it's full, basically. And yeah, I love that club.
What is it like to play there? It's been a dream. It's any DJ's dream to play. Well, when you're behind the decks and everything's kicking off, what's that feeling like? You're thinking, hang on, I've done it. I'm here. I'm at the Ministry of Sound.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, during those DJ shows, I guess it kind of goes by in a blur, just because you're so focused and you're like enjoying it so much. So I have always have like a video guy with me and clips from mobile phones and stuff. So I kind of end up like reliving it multiple times, and then I think, oh, okay, yeah, I remembered playing that track, but at the time I'm so focused, you can't quite remember it.
I know what you mean. And was it, gigs like that, Ministry of Sound, that led to this tour of Asia that you've just got back from, 3 weeks out there doing various clubs? How did that come about? Again, you can't just go along and say, can I have a go in your club? You've got to get invited. What's the story?
Playing in Ministry of Sound definitely helps because it shows like a level of prestige and like experience, I guess. But how the Asia tour initially started is this club promoter in Macau followed me on Instagram, messaged me saying, really like what you're doing, really like your music. If you ever want to come and DJ in Macau, let me know. So I let him know.
You're not going to say no to that, are you? You're going to say, no, you're okay. Maybe next time you're okay. I mean, that's brilliant. And that is the power, again, we're talking about the DJs of yesteryear in the 90s didn't have social media. It's a big thing. I know you're big on Instagram. At Josh Le Tissier, go and follow Josh there, some great clips and updates and everything. So, of course, that's a way to get your music out there. I know there's SoundCloud and other bits and pieces, but the socials definitely is a big part of it. You played a club in Bangkok as part of the Asia tour as well. I know the Guernsey flag came out for that. Well, I guess at most of your shows you try and get the Guernsey flag in the photographs. Your fans want to come and meet you. You get the flag, and it's great. I mean, you're promoting our beautiful island here as well. I mean, Bangkok, the club scene there is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. The Bangkok gig was literally my favourite gig of my life so far. It was just amazing. I mean, the club is only like 3 months old. So all of like the visuals and the production are really next level. They had like CO2 going off on every drop, confetti, dancers wearing these like LED suits. It was just, I can't wait to go back.
And what's the club called?
Void.
Okay. And what you say about the effects and everything, there's a clip on Instagram of you. You're holding, is it a smoke machine? You're actually, they used to be...
the CO2 gun.
That's the CO2 gun. Of course it is. Back in my day, it was a smoke machine in the roof. That just trickled out a bit of smoke for effects. A CO2 gun.
Yeah.
I like that. And that's you, part of the set. You're actually holding the cannon.
Yeah, it was awesome. I actually had to have a bit of a practice run during the sound check because I didn't realise how much recoil there was. So I was on stage holding the CO2 gun, blasted it, and I nearly fell off.
Got to be careful with those CO2 guns. Now, the Guernsey thing, when you're over there in Asia, and people, you chat to people, and they say where you're from. Do you go with the Guernsey, the full explanation, or is it because sometimes it's easy to say it's near the UK, it's in between France and the UK?
Yeah, it depends. I normally start off with the UK, and if the conversation gets a little bit deeper, then I say Guernsey.
Got it. Well, it's great to see the Guernsey flag in the photographs. There's some great footage, by the way. Check out Josh Le Tissier on Instagram. And you do some little tips and tricks when you're working in your home studio as well. Love those. Because there's quite a lot goes into producing a track. There's a lot of layers, there's a lot of drops and sound effects, and you've got to make sure it's all balanced. But you do some clever little kind of sneaky tips of plugins to use and everything.
Yeah, that's right. It's quite frightening, actually, when you see how many hours just one single track takes. Like, we're talking sometimes like 40 to 50 hours just for one song.
For one track, which will be 3 to 5 minutes, I guess, something, depending if it's an extended version or whatever. Do you prefer producing the studio work or going out to do the DJ gigs, the highlight?
That's a really tough question, because they kind of go hand in hand, particularly at the moment where over half of my set is my own remixes and productions. So being able to make the music like that and then go and play it and see the reactions, they just feed off each other.
It's part of the package. It's all one thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got your home studio as well. And how long are you in there? Have you got a limit? You've got to say, come on, I'm not doing any more than 8 hours a day in the studio.
That's not always up to me. That's up to my fiancée.
Look at your fiancée there, and she's going to think he's in there a bit too much.
Yeah.
But you've got to put the hard work in, Josh, as you know, to get where you are. Since the last time we spoke 6 years ago, you're doing some amazing things, making some great songs, doing some big shows. And you can do the reveal. We were just talking about Asia, and I was going to ask, when are you going back? Will you go back?
Yeah, I'm playing a festival in Bangkok, middle of April.
Already invited back?
Yep.
They love you out there.
Yeah, that like I say, that gig in Bangkok was amazing. The club owner actually came up to me like a few minutes after I finished my set and wanted to book me in March. And I said, oh no, March is like way too soon. So he said, what about April? And I hesitated and I thought, okay. why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so pleased for you, Josh, because I know you put in the work and you work extremely long hours, but it all pays off when you get to this stage. For fans in Guernsey, when can we see you doing a gig here? When you've got time?
Yeah, actually, I don't have any Guernsey gigs in the calendar right now. I need to get one in. And
I'm sure somebody will book you.
Yeah,
I'm sure they will. Instagram, go and follow Josh. It's at Josh Le Tissier. Loads of cool stuff on there, including the highlights, some brilliant video highlights of the tour of Asia that you've just come back from. Tips and tricks on how to make a track sound good. Bit of secret sauce that you put into your tracks. I'm not asking you to reveal it, but there's always a certain plug-in you can just spice it up a little bit. So all that on Josh Le Tissier's Instagram. Back to Asia soon. More songs coming out. What's the rest of the year got in store?
My release schedule is completely packed at the moment. I think every 3 weeks I have a song coming out until August. So, again, lots of releases on Hardwell's label. That really helps with getting additional bookings in Asia. So.
Good for you. Josh Le Tissier, so nice to see you. Keep up the great work and thank you for flying the flag for Guernsey in Clublands. We will see you next time.
Yeah, thanks so much for the invite.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Josh Le Tissier, for popping in to have a chat. He's still lurking around, checking out our new studios. And this, by the way, Daft Punk One More Time. I don't know, it sounds a bit different because it's your remix of it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's out now.
Yep, I think it's on YouTube and SoundCloud.
Okay, sounded really good there. Nice to hear that different version. Originally got to number 2 back in year 2000, so a classic track from 25 years ago. Josh, once again, thanks for your time.
Thanks very much.
All right, thank you, Josh Le Tissier.
Island FM.